Thursday, and the all-important announcement out of the Fed for millions and millions of Americans. This is an incredibly important announcement and meeting, which is why I'm going to be discussing it here in this video, to discuss what we're likely going to hear out of the Fed, as well as what the consensus is also betting on that we may be hearing on Thursday. We've got an incredibly important week and busy week upon us, a lot of big things happening here. Let's get into it and talk about specifically Thursday and what's going on. First off, can I ask a huge favor of you? Please make sure to like the video with the big thumbs up button right down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Also, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so yet with the big subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get into it. All right, so Thursday specifically, obviously, I know we have a lot of things going on this week, some big decisions going on. I get it, but I want to focus just on Thursday here in this video because this is the next meeting that the Federal Reserve will be having after their last meeting back in the middle portion of September 18th to be exact, when they announced the first rate cut in 4 years of 50 basis points. Now, this is their very next meeting. They have a meeting every 6 weeks. This just happens to be the next one. It starts on Wednesday and it ends on Thursday. They're actually pushing it out one day this week. Usually the meetings start on Tuesdays and they wrap up on Wednesdays, but this week, because of everything else going on, they're starting it on Wednesday and wrapping it up on Thursday. So they're pushing it back one day. However, it's the all eyes going to be on the Federal Reserve as well as Jerome Powell. What are they going to do, right? That's the big decision right now. So I want to discuss also what the consensus is out there right now. Are they going to pause? Are they going to cut again? Are they going to raise rates? What are they going to do, right? These are all really good questions. Any of these three are possible, and they will absolutely 100% do any of these three because these are the only three options they have. Either cut rates, raise rates, or pause. That's it, okay? But anyway, so this is important simply because a month and a half ago, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, a month and a half ago, they came together and they had their last FOMC meeting. They cut rates by 50 basis points. Now, we would anticipate, considering they started in the cutting trend, and here's where we are right now with the most recent unemployment data out and the most recent inflation data out, and we have all these other economic factors and data points that have come out here. We would think that the Federal Reserve would look at all this and think, hey, we started cutting 50 last meeting. Now, how much are we going to go this time, right? So that's the big question out there. Are they doing 25? Will they do 50 this time? Will they possibly do 75? These are the three options. Now, there's a lot of other options on the table. They could do 100. They could do 125. They could do way more than that. They could do 0. Highly unlikely they're going to do 75 or 100 or more. Highly likely that they will do either 25 or 50, but we don't know that until Thursday at about 2 p.m. is actually when we're going to be getting that announcement, East Coast time. But here's the thing. As the Federal Reserve continues to cut interest rates, and hopefully they do, right? Here's the thing. When they continue to cut interest rates, eventually, not instantly, usually it takes 30 to 45 days or so for us, the consumers, to start seeing these lower interest rates rolling in and actually impacting things that we're actually, holding balances on, like variable interest rates on credit cards and personal loans and lines of credit and whatever else out there, everything else out there, even fixed rate of anything that obviously you're not locked in yet. But if you're looking at fixed rate, products, instruments, you'll start to see those rates coming down as well. But if you're already locked in at a rate, obviously that's not going to change whatsoever. But you'll start to see some of those. In fact, since their last meeting in mid-September, we've seen interest rates on 30-year fixed-rate mortgages come down quite a bit, actually. It's pretty nice. We're starting to see a bunch of refinance activity. We're seeing new home purchases, things like that. Nowhere near what we saw in 2020, 2021, basically 2022. But that's just kind of what we're seeing now. So we are starting to see some of this, but it takes time. In fact, back in September, when the Federal Reserve cut that 50, I was out in a couple videos and I saw a lot of comments coming in saying, how long does this take to be showing up on my, my credit cards and stuff like this? And how long is it going to take to start impacting, my money, things like that? Again, good questions. Generally, we don't start to see it kind of coming out and impacting consumer debts, things like that, for probably 30, 45 days or so, right around there. So it takes time. So like right now, we're kind of just starting to see the effects of that 50 basis point cut. Like right now, we're just starting to see that now kind of in our finances from a month and a half ago. Does that kind of make sense, right? It takes about this much time. So let's just say that they cut another 50 this week for Thursday. Let's just say that they come in and cut another 50. We won't see those effects or feel those effects probably until, what's another month and a half from now? Kind of late-ish December. Yeah, we won't even feel that until then. So like, right before the holidays, right? Or right around that holiday time. So that's about when we'll start to feel it. And again, it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be, very significant, but every single time that they come in and cut rates a little bit, it does help our finances a little bit. Every time helps a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, right? Just like when they were raising interest rates. It cuts in, it digs, it hurts a little more, and a little more, and a little more. Every time it digs in a little more, and they twist it a little more every time, right? That's what happens when they raise. But when they cut, it's the opposite. It's a little more relief, just a little more relief every single time. Does that kind of make sense, right? So anyway, the consensus right now is that they're going to cut anywhere between 25 and 50 basis points. Or I shouldn't say between. They're going to cut either 25 or 50, one of the two. That's the consensus right now. It's kind of a toss-up at this point as far as what they're going to do. Is it 25? Is it 50? That's just kind of where they're coming in now, okay? If I had to say something about this, just my opinion about it, I don't know. I'm kind of split. I could see a case for both of these. I'm just honestly not really sure. I wouldn't be shocked one bit if they do 25. They kicked it off with a 50, and now they'll follow it up with a 25, and then maybe come back in December and be like, based on the last two meetings, we had these results and things like this. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see 25, but if we also see 50, I wouldn't be shocked there as well. But remember, the risk of going too big too fast is that if they come in and they have some rogue 75-point cut, right? 75 basis point rate cut, that signals to the markets and to you and me and the consumer and businesses and the economy and investors and everything. It signals to everybody that, hey, we see the economy cooling way faster than we expected, and this is not a very good situation. We need to cut faster to get ahead of the economy before it really crashes and burns, and that's kind of what that would be signaling. So they can come in and cut 75. It'd be good. It'd be stimulative to the economy, but at the end of the day, it would give the wrong signal. That's the problem. The wrong signal, wrong messaging, right? So that's kind of the situation there. So anyway, we've got a huge week here, and do we think what's going to be happening here with Tuesday and everything like that, is that also going to play a role into their decision? I don't know. It's not supposed to. They're supposed to be completely unaligned. The Federal Reserve is supposed to be 100% neutral on politics. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But anyway, they're supposed to be, but we all know the difference between that, right? So anyway, is it going to impact anything for Thursday? I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say yes or no. I'm not really sure. It shouldn't, but at the end of the day, maybe it does. What they really should be doing is just watching the economy. That's all they're supposed to be doing. The Federal Reserve, that's kind of their job. Watch the economy. Handle inflation when it gets too high. When there's no inflation, create a little bit of inflation. I know that sounds weird, but they actually want inflation. They want inflation at about 2%, maybe 2.5% on a hot day or hot month, hot quarter, hot year, whatever. But they want inflation. For a lot of years there, they actually said, we have no inflation. And they were printing money like crazy. It was called quantitative easing. That was just basically a fancy, smart way of saying, hey, we're going to print a whole bunch of money. They were printing tens of billions of dollars a month. It's crazy. For years, like 12 years or something, 10, 12 years. It was a lot of time. They were printing money, tens of billions of dollars a month is what they were printing. And just saying, we don't have any inflation. We're trying to create inflation by printing all this money. So, and their bond buying program. So, I don't know. I could talk about that in a different video if you want me to, but kind of interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. So anyway, Thursday, keep it on your radar. I will keep you posted as we get that announcement. Again, 2 p.m. East Coast time is when we get the initial announcement on rates. And then 30 minutes later, 2:30 p.m. East Coast time on Thursday, we will have the press conference with Jerome Powell, and he'll be answering questions there, and we'll get a lot more details on what they're thinking and further explanation as to their decision. So I'll keep you posted on this. Again, at the end of the day, it impacts all of us, our money, our benefits, everything like this. It's all impactful. Therefore, I'm not sure about you, but I want to watch this because it's important. I mean, it impacts everything. It impacts everything to some degree. Even if you don't have any debt, you're not borrowing any money, anything like that, it still impacts you to some degree. Somewhere, somehow, it impacts us. Anyway, hope this helps you. But again, please make sure to like the video. Thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, subscribe down below as well. If you haven't done so yet, big subscribe button. Thank you. Really appreciate that as well. Check out the other 5,000 plus videos here on the channel in the video library. The ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. Otherwise, right now showing up on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Check those out. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll keep you posted with this interesting week that's going to play